Guys, it's Tuesday and it's time for another Movie Monkey review. So my Movie Monkey shirt is still dirty from Burning Man. I wore it one night out. The only person in a t-shirt during Burning Man, that was this guy. I thought the monkey really paid off. It didn't pay off. Got some comments, it was alright. Anyway, so I saw the new Bruce Lee homage movie. I would call it homage because I really don't know if it's based in facts. I have to dive into this because... let me get to the title at least. It's called The Birth of the Dragon. Bruce Lee is the dragon. It was like Enter the Dragon was his final movie, or The Tower of the Dragon was his... Enter the Dragon. I don't know. There's dragons. Bruce Lee is... I declared my spiritual advisor, or like the person that I spiritually emulate. And during Burning Man, I called him out, and I'm like, I'm going to follow his work, and I need to learn to be in my body. I'm like this physical being, and my body is like how I experience things, and I experience Bruce Lee as somebody who's very spiritually minded to focus his energy and be able to do things that are like impossible, right? And it's funny because I've been sleeping on his book, the Tao of Jeet Kune Do, which is his martial arts fighting style. I've gotten as far as like the philosophy section of this book, probably to about page 50, and there's a whole bunch of pages about how you move and how if somebody attacks you in one way, you would react in another way. He is the creator of mixed martial arts, and awesome guy. So I have this mentality of Bruce Lee coming into this movie, right? And I don't get that Bruce Lee. Here comes the spoilers. I've talked about the movie enough, unspoiled. It's pretty good. There's some really cool fight scenes, Avi, and it's fun, and it's like weird, surreal, actually, because I've focused on his like intellectual works, which comes after this movie. This movie is like, Bruce Lee he's slated as this guy who's pissed off because he was thrown out of his training. This is what he says. Thrown out of his training by the guy who I'm just going to say is like Jeet Man, I think is his name. Jeet Man. Who's the best at Kung Fu. And in China, and Bruce Lee gets thrown out of his class because they find out his mother is white, and it's not supposed to be taught to Caucasians, Westerners, and he brings it here, and he's like out of spite doing this, and he's a prick. He's like a complete prick through the whole movie. He's just like this jerk who's getting into his students' heads and disrupting them, and like he's like, oh, you look so good getting beaten up by me. I look so good. I'm Bruce Lee. And he's like wearing his like Bruce Lee clothes, like classic 60s, like nice bell-bottomed pants. And he's like kicking people's asses and stuff, right? It was so bizarre to see him in this position, and then his one of his underlings, Mick, I think his name is, right? His underling's Mick, meets this Chinese girl, and they have some chemistry, and she's like sold into being an indentured servant in the Chinese mafia. I'm trying to like break this down. It got kind of confusing because I thought this once again was going to be about Bruce Lee, but it's really about this character Mick, who is training under Bruce Lee, meets the master man, and starts training with him. So he's like this in-between between Master Man and Bruce Lee, and they're going back and forth. Master Man is all about like cleaning off his chi, and he wants to be like pure and become this, like, he's in America to wash his sins away because he almost killed somebody. And dude, I really don't think Bruce Lee's a fucking asshole. Like, that wouldn't understand that he is bastardizing Kung Fu, right? With just teaching people how to kick somebody else's ass. Like, in one scene, they're like, kick ass! And all these, there's like 30 guys in his dojo just saying kick ass. And I'm like, that's not, I don't think that's how Bruce Lee trained people, but maybe it is before Master Man kind of like teaches him this lesson, because it's all about Bruce Lee being taught this lesson that he's giving himself limitations by not practicing a Tao of complete, you know, becoming the master and the master of the chi and master of this stuff. Bruce Lee's like scoffing at this old, outdated way of thinking about life, but he went to school for philosophy, and like he already had that base before he's jerked Bruce Lee in this movie. So I really, maybe it didn't click until after this happened, and then he became the Bruce Lee who created this Tao, Tao Jeet Kune Do, the Tao of Jeet Kune Do, all about like being water and being able to move and crash. So that was super interesting for me, and it was all right. There was one piece of that movie where I cried a little bit because I've been learning how to juggle and like do contact juggling. And in one scene, Master Man, he's got this plate, and he's doing all this cool stuff with like moving the plate around and keeping it upright and doing all this cool like flow art around this plate. And I was like, man, that's what I'm doing right now. Ooh, I didn't know that was a thing. And then when I see that the things that I do are actually like mental practices to get to like a consciousness level, I really appreciate that. And I am going to be absorbing a lot of the content. It was a fun movie. I mean, Bruce Lee kind of being a prick. It's fun. He's like popping his collar. He's like, I'm Bruce Lee. I'm going to kick this guy's ass. I'm going to kick his ass so hard. He's not even know what's gonna happen to him because I'm gonna kick it so hard. I'm like, what the fuck, Bruce Lee? I didn't know you were such a, like, kind of a pompous jerk. And it was fun to watch, him being a pompous jerk. And then, like, you know, it was a cute movie. I'd watch it again, probably. Yeah, I'd probably watch it again. Anyways, that was your Tuesday movie review in a nice clothes movie review. These are the only clothes I didn't wear during Burning Man, so have a great day, guys.